early. Just tripped over there. Thank you, Joey. Next on the list to speak is Dan Erison. I think I got that right. Dan is a baseball coach.
Hi, yeah, as Nathan, baseball coach. I was probably upset as much as all of you people were to hear about Nathan. I had a particular goal very similar to what Nathan had. As you all know, Nathan loved to play baseball, and he always wanted to play in the majors. And unfortunately, Nathan did not make the majors, so he never gave up. He was placed on my team with some other boys who also had a goal in mind, was to make the majors. That was probably the most incredible, hardworking baseball team I've ever coached, and I've coached for several years in different areas. And I think a lot of that had to do with Nathan. Nathan, as you probably know, had a very magnetic personality. The kids always huddled around him. He had a lot of different nicknames, but one that always was special to me was they called him Curly Fries, which I thought was absolutely great. But the one thing I think our baseball team did so well at is because we had boys like Nathan, whose determination to make the majors helped our baseball team. So as a coach, I would like to say that, a lot of it has to do with his getting better by the end of the year. It had a lot to do with me, but I think it had to do just as much with Murray. Murray was always out there throwing the baseball and helping him. Mike and myself and Pierre, we did the best that we could, and I'd like to think that he had learned a lot from me. But as the season went on, Nathan became better and better as the year went on. And I remember clearly in my mind the one day when I realized that Nathan was really getting what we were teaching him. Was we knew we had a tough team that we had to play that was going to be throwing a boy that threw the ball quite hard. So we thought we'd get the kids prepared, and so they had myself up on the mound pitching and throwing at the boys. And Nathan came up to bat and started to hit the ball hard, and then he hit the ball this one particular time so hard, he almost knocked me off the mound. And at that point, I knew Nathan got it. The smile on his face, just seeing me jump out of the way, knew that himself that he was getting it. He got to the point where he became better and better, and he got selected to the All-Star team. Nathan's eyes were as big as baseballs when he had told that he made the All-Star team, and it was very well deserved. He had played very, very well, and throughout the year he continued to get better. And I just wanted to, I'm here to say to Murray and the family that there is no doubt in my mind next year that Nathan would be playing in the majors. I know he's not with us today, but I know where he's at. He is playing majors. And it was just an honor to coach your son. Boys like that come around once in a while. He was a little sponge. And it was just an honor. I just wanted to say a brief word about Nathan. Thanks.
Thanks, Jan. Next on our list is Michelle Lim, also from Dunbar Baseball.
Good afternoon. As Nathan Wendell said, my name is Michelle Lim. I'm the president of Dunbar Little League and also a parent in the Dunbar community. It's good to see so many people from Dunbar Little League out today, and I know Nathan would have been very, very proud. Over the years, I've had the chance to observe Nathan play baseball, and in my years as the president of Dunbar Little League and also as a parent, the one thing I've always feared is having to come to memorial service for a child. Tragically, this has happened today, but I felt it would be important to come today to express my personal sympathies to Nathan's family, Lisa and Murray, and his extended family. Also, to let the community know that how much Nathan was loved within our Dunbar community baseball. And I wanted to let you know a little bit about Nathan as a baseball player, which Dan has already done. Every spring I watch a large number of baseball games amongst our community, and I particularly remember about 4 years ago being out at the minor B diamond and watching a game and seeing a shorter little fellow with this gorgeous head of curly hair. I remember saying to a friend, I said, who's that little fellow over there? And he said, his name is Nathan Warren. So I continued to watch the game, and I made a couple of observations about Nathan that day. One is that he truly seemed to be loving playing the game. He had this beautiful, infectious smile. He was out there, he was trying oh so hard, and he really seemed to love the game. The other observation I had about Nathan way back when was that his skill set was definitely in progress. He wasn't quite there yet as a player, but you could see he was trying hard, and maybe one day he would be there in terms of his skill. Over the years, I've continued to watch many more games. And of course, Nathan, with that beautiful head of hair, it was hard to miss him playing. He was out there trying so hard and smiling and running, and I've really got a chance to observe him over the years. And as Dan said, this year something was very different about Nathan as a baseball player. Suddenly, his skill set had just raised up a whole different level, and there's no question in my mind that having watched a lot of games in the division he played in, that he was definitely the most improved player out there this year. And I think that tells you a lot about Nathan, that he tried hard, he worked hard, he loved the game, and he improved so much. And that was really, I think, a very special thing about Nathan. So I just wanted to come today and let you know that as part of the Dunbar Little League family, Nathan will always be remembered, and he will always be missed as part of our family, and that he was a very special person, and that we will always remember him for time eternal. Lisa and Maria, this difficult time, I'm oh so sorry, but please know that all of our thoughts and sympathies are with you, and that he was a very special person, a special baseball player, and we will always remember him. Thank you.
And Mr. Richard Zerby. Mr. Richard Zerby is Nathan's previous principal.
These are new. Good afternoon, Shalom. My name is Richard Zerby, and I was fortunate to be the principal at Southland School and knew Nathan for his first 3 years of school. And it's a befittingly sunny day. Now, as principal, I want you all to know that I never had Nathan in my office. But I knew him just the same. And while it was some time ago, I still have a very vivid memory of him, as many of you have already shared and will probably continue to do so. I remember him physically. Pop-top curly hair, those incredibly deeply set dimples, huge smile. A smile that lit you up inside. More importantly, I remember his spirit. He was an effervescent boy who reminded you every time you saw him what it meant to be alive and what it meant to live happily. He was a cool kid. In hindsight, it wasn't surprising when I ran into him on the streets of Tofino, of all places, where he had gone with his family to surf. Nathan made a wonderful and happy impact on me that I will cherish. It's important to know that what I remember of Nathan early on in his school years carried on to today. Now, his current school principal, Mr. Ian Cannon, told me, as he did to Joanna, that Nathan continued to be extremely well-liked by his students, by all the students that he interacted with at Southland. In class, he would go out of his way to assist students. In some group work situations, where the group had not completed parts of the assignment that Nathan had, he would take the blame himself to prevent the students who had not completed the work from getting into trouble. Nathan truly did care about other students, and his interactions with his grade 2 little buddy were heartwarming. He treated his little buddy as if he were a younger brother. Nathan was extremely attentive and caring in his interactions with the younger student. Recently, Mr. Cannon describes an incident where Nathan was in the office with another student related to something that had happened to lunch. Now remember, he was never in my office. Nathan's concern was not for himself, but for the other student. And as you heard before, he stated that he hoped the other student wouldn't get into trouble for what had happened. On the playground, Nathan was a child. He played tag, threw a football with his friends, stayed on the tire swing so long he became nauseous. When it snowed, Nathan could always be found rolling the largest snowball possible